Well. Here we are. It is Friday, May 17th. And you know what? I need to change the camera. We have the right camera on, but we have the looking in the wrong place. So there we go. Let's get it done correctly. Okay. There it is. All right. There we are. Just bear with me. I'm just, a heartfelt guy with a lot of knowledge and 49 years of experience in the financial services business. And I just need to share. I continue to read incessantly. I study and research things that are happening right now. The title of today's topic is, what is rainbow currency? I have a program called Chat GP. That's that AI program. And even they know, and they talk about conspiracy theory and all this other kind of stuff. Well, I'll tell you how big of a conspiracy theory it is. I actually have set up an account and have rainbow currency in an online digital wallet. So this is not going to be theory much longer in what's going on. So that's what I want to talk about today. Why is all this happening? What is happening? What is the timeline? Is there a time it's going to happen or whatever? So listen up. We start every program with prayers for everybody in the world that's been touched by this COVID virus from the Chinese lab of Wuhan, operated by the CCP. More and more information is coming out about this, and it gets more and more disturbing every day. So we pray for those who have had their health impaired. We pray for a healing so that their health would be restored. We pray for those who have lost loved ones, and especially we pray for the loved ones who have been lost, that the Lord would gather them into his arms and take them to his kingdom of heaven above. We pray for Ukraine and Russia, what is going on there, that there would be a truth reveal of some kind that would possibly stop the destruction and the killing of what's going on. We pray for Israel. What happened on October 7th in Israel is unconscionable. But yet, nobody is protesting Hamas. They're protesting Israel. This is ludicrous on what is going on. So I pray with all of my heart that somehow this peace would come about and truth would be revealed so that people would be awakened. And that's sort of what we're going to talk about today in our program today. So I want to talk about our quote. We have a quote every day. Our quote today, again, Nelson Mandela: no one is born hating another person because of the color of their skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally in the human heart than its opposite. It's just, it's amazing. When I read these every day, I try to work hard at having a positive approach to life every day of my life, everything that's going on, because those thoughts and words that we put in our mind will determine who you become tomorrow and the day after and the day after. And the other part of that is even scarier is our children will become tomorrow and the day after what they see and hear us do and say. This is unbelievable when we stop and think about it. And I just believe that so few people think about it, because I hear more and more destructive conversation with people using slang and profanity, on and on. All of those things plant little worms in your brain that will eat your brain away. And it will cause you to become a deranged, demented person someday, because those thoughts, if they keep putting them in there, they can't be overcome. Eventually, they will crowd out your effective thinking in the mind. I pray that doesn't offend anybody, what I'm saying. I'm not a perfect human being by any means or any shape or any form. I just pray every day for God's guidance and his courage to challenge myself to be better today than I was yesterday, to think better today than I did yesterday. Let's get into our subject today. I want to talk a little bit. We're going to do some history. I've got a document that is printed out, and there it is. Okay, it's called NESARA GESARA, and you can stop the video and you can see that. And in that NESARA, that's national, and GESARA, GESARA, is global. And this is what I believe is going to come to be, not only in America, but around the world. And I honestly believe that it is actually happening. Now, let me talk. I'm not going to read all this. I just want to point out a couple of things on here. This document and this agreement was created somewhere between 2000 and 2010. I don't have any exact date, but that's what the research tells me as I do research for NESARA GESARA. You can find a lot of information about this topic by looking up on YouTube Dr. Scott Young, not related to me in any way, shape, or form, but he has written several books on this, what is coming. This has been planned for a long, long time when you look at the research around it. And the very first one zeroes out all credit card, mortgage, and other debt due to illegal banking and government activities. This is the Federal Reserve's worst nightmare, a jubilee of forgiveness of debt. Abolishes the income tax, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's one thing down here that I want to get to. Creates a new U.S. Treasury rainbow currency, backed by gold, silver, and platinum precious metals, ending the bankruptcy of the United States initiated by Franklin Roosevelt in 1933. Now, if you're in local in Beaver Valley or online, Facebook, I have a 1 hour radio show on Tuesday. What is the date? Today, 70, 18, 9, 20, 21. So I think it's Tuesday the 21st at 9:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. On WBBP, WMBA is where you'll find the Facebook page. So it is live streamed there. So no matter where you are in the world, if you can get to Facebook, and you can go to WMBA, WBVP, WMBA radio station, and you will find this show live. Because Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the coming crash. It is inevitable. I'm not predicting it'll be next week, next month, or even this year, next year, or whatever, but it is inevitable. Rainbow currency was talked about many years ago. I put information out on here last week. I was talking about QFS, Quantum Financial System, QFStechnologies.org. And guess what? They have created rainbow currency. Now, this rainbow currency, this company, QFStechnologies.org, was formed, I think, in 2017 in the research that I've done. It went live in Europe in 2019. And it is expected to go live in the United States and Canada in 2024. This is the alternate, so they're saying, this is the alternative currency to the current fiat from the Federal Reserve that is not backed by anything. And they have printed so much of it that the more they print, and now they are so far in debt, that it's impossible. There is no way they can get out of the debt. So it is a downward spiral in this debt of the government and the Federal Reserve. And for the first time in U.S. history, since 1913, when the Federal Reserve was created by a bunch of fat, rich bankers and businessmen in 1913, along with the IRS, and that's another story for another day. But for the first time in history, they are now operating in the red. If they were a bank and their balance sheet is in such a loss right now because of the raising interest rates, they would be in default if they were a bank. So their only way out of this is to print scads of more money. As the banks across America are running out of capital, my gal that works for me, Donna, last Christmas. There's a local bank here that's not connected to any other local banks. She went there toward the middle or the end of November to get some cash for Christmas. She went into the bank and wanted $2,500 in cash. Would you believe the bank could not give her the cash? Oh, our cash delivery this week didn't happen. It hasn't gotten here yet. So we don't have the cash to give you. Could you imagine walking into a bank, $2,500, and they can't give you $2,500? Those are just little snippets of things that I have been experiencing in different ways. The banks are running out of capital. In the last 12 months, through the Federal Reserve, Fred they call it, in Missouri, the individual people, depositors, have withdrawn more than $1 trillion from bank accounts in the last year. I wonder why. I wonder why there's so much withdrawal of money. Is this the beginning of the run? I don't know. I'm not predicting it is. But it seems odd to me that you would walk into a bank and they couldn't come up with $2,500 bills. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So this rainbow currency, what I want to challenge you to do is look up Dr. Scott Young on YouTube. There's a lot of content there. He is a very learned guy, a very educated man, and talks excessively about NESARA, GESARA, getting rid of the debt, how that's going to happen, what it's going to mean to you and I. So I'm really in the mode right now in trying to help people at least understand what is happening or going to happen in the future, somewhere near future, further future, I don't know. But all of a sudden, I believe the emergency broadcast system is going to come on and your phones aren't going to work and the TV stations aren't going to work and it's all going to be EBS, emergency broadcast system, put out by the military, explaining what is going on. So this is an educational podcast today on what may or may not happen. And what I want to try to do is I believe in the Lord above, and I believe this is going to happen out of goodness. It's going to eliminate the bankruptcy of the United States Corporation that was formed in the 1930s by Franklin Roosevelt, and they are bankrupt today. There is no way on earth. Now I'm going to close today with I created a video and I put it out the other day. You can get to the video. It's called The Wicked, Wicked Game. And that in the very first part, December of 2019, I did this video. And in the first 10 minutes, it talks about the U.S. debt clock. And the debt at that time of the federal government was around, 23 trillion. Well, today it's 35 trillion. 4 years and a few months later, 23 trillion to 35 trillion. They are on a train that is accelerating at an unbelievable exponential speed. The unfunded liability, which is Social Security, Medicare Part A, B, and D, and all of the pensions and benefits for the 23 million federal employees and the military of the United States government. And that number went from 117 trillion to 215 trillion in 4 years and a few months. Folks, wake up. You need to communicate. Every person in America needs to pick up the phone and call your congressman or senator and tell them to stop spending money. They need to be sued. They need to be put in jail for the fiscal irresponsibility that they are practicing today and continuing to send hundreds of billions of dollars around the world. Oh, look at me. I sent 60 billion to Ukraine and on and on and on. That's the mantra of a politician, giving other people's money away without responsibility. I'm going to stop there. Get my book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project, and Financial Mastery Coaching, The Blueprints, going across the screen right up there. You can get those for free in a download. Go to CFO-Project CFO-project.com. CFO-project.com. Put in your name and email address. You will get an email with a link in it to download both of those books, cover to cover. God bless you all. May God protect you, preserve you, give you the courage you need to get through what is coming. Get my show on WBBP, WMBA on Tuesday, May 21st. I come on right after the news at 9:10 a.m. in the morning, and I'm on for about an hour. You need to listen. Now, I will also be on in June, 10, 11, and 12. I have 3 days and 3 hours each day. So I'm filling in for Eddie Crow for those 3 days. And believe me, do I have some hot topics to talk about on those 3 days. God bless you all. Make it a great day today. Have a wonderful, healthy, happy weekend.